Hello everyone. I had a few inquiries about making a video for refilling the 1 pound cylinders. There is a lot of really good ones online. I actually learned my technique from one of the guys online that I saw. However, I can't find him anymore, so I'm going to make a video about how he taught me how to refill because it was the only one that was successful for me. Now this design or this technique works with the cylinder, the big cylinder upside down. Propane is a liquid, so when you refill, if your tank starts getting empty, it won't come out as easily. It also will mostly give air, which is because it's pressurized if you refill them with the tank facing up. So I like to start with the tank upside down. I let it rest for a few hours upside down so everything settles, and so that's what I've been doing, and I set up everything. I have my box for my full containers, and then I have all my canisters lined up. Another thing that I check, and the technique that he showed was he had a tool that was specifically for purging. There's a little purge nozzle here that is for getting the air out as you're filling it. So this one is where it would connect, and then this one is a purge nozzle. I don't usually have anything except for like a hex key, but not everybody has a hex key. I've also found that a Q-tip works, and most people have Q-tips. So just a basic Q-tip. I do like to take off the fuzzy stuff off of it, that way there's no residue inside, because when the propane comes out or transfers, it's coming out super cold. So a lot of times if you have the fuzzies on the Q-tip, it'll actually freeze inside of there because it comes out super cold. And I usually wear gloves, but I don't have any gloves, so I'm just going to do this without gloves, and I'll just wash my hands later. It just smells, it leaves a smell on your hands. So anyways, that's the setup. Have all of your tanks ready to go. These tanks I've had for the past 2 years. I've lent them out to people, so they're not in the best of shape, but they don't leak. I've tested all of them. If any of your tanks after you fill them leaks, do not use it, do not bring it inside. If they get overfilled, these guys can sometimes swell. I do have a few of them that are a little bit swollen. Like this one's my oldest. It's been swollen a few times, and I probably won't use this one. I'll test it one more time to make sure, but usually when they start to swell, I like to have them nice and straight. Here's my dog. Hi, Becca. You're such a good girl. So I like to have them nice and straight so I know that they're not compromised. There's no seams that are compromised. Because you are keeping these inside. So I don't fill them fully, because if it's super cold outside, it's nice outside right now, but if it's super cold outside and you fill these like in the middle of winter when you're, using them for an emergency situation, the transfer becomes super cold. The canisters are extremely cold. You'll actually see the condensation and the frost build up on the outside of them. And they will, when you bring them inside, because you want them to be warm so that they can be used for the emergency fuel, they will hiss because they're too full. So this is an emergency release as well. When the pressure is too high inside of the canister, it releases gas or propane to prevent the container from exploding. So the devices that I use, or the tools that I use, I have a adjustable wrench, and that's just to twist the things on so I'm not killing my hands. I have carpal tunnel, so I can't really get a good grip on things to put it in there. I also use this. You can get this at Walmart in the camping section. It is a 1 pound cylinder scale, so it lets you know what the weight is of the 1 pound cylinders when you refill them. It hooks onto the lids just like that, and then you just turn it on and it'll scale it out. Now I don't use that because I can usually tell by shaking it how much is in there, but that's something that I used when I first started. This is the refill canister. It's not very big, I just have tiny hands. And this rounded part goes inside the internal section of the propane, and in the inside of propane is reverse threaded. They do that for safety reasons so that you don't accidentally use a water piping to connect two different canisters or to connect propane to, because propane will escape out of water fittings. So it can only be used in a reverse threaded which is made for gas or propane. So I tighten that on and I adjust my wrench and just give it a nice little turn. I don't want it too tight because I want to be able to get it off, but it's not going to leak. Another helpful thing is if you have something high enough or flat and that you can hang this off the edge so you can put the canisters on there, you will have to tilt the container to get some of the propane out once you're at the end of things. So this is a 20-pound canister, so I can a 20-pound cylinder, which usually costs about $18 if I refill it, and that will fill up 21-pound cylinders. So each of those cylinders cost me $1 versus getting them for $5 or $6 for 2 at Walmart. So it's just a little bit to save money and also to not have so much waste, because you can't recycle those things and I don't like wasting things. So that's the intro video. I'm going to now start setting up my phone to get the canister set up, but I don't know how I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go and then I'm going to send another video.